Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Solid Waste Authority of Palm Beach County's virtual programs. My name is Mary, and I'm one of the education specialists. Today, we have Kyle, the operations manager for Renewable Energy Facility 2, joining us again to take us behind the scenes. Right now, Renewable Energy Facility 2 is actually undergoing some scheduled maintenance. That means that parts of the facility are shut down. We do this regularly to ensure that everything's working properly so we can continue to burn waste efficiently. Kyle's videos this week are going to focus on boiler maintenance, and next week's videos, he's going to show us other areas around the plant during a shutdown. So the videos today are going to give you a really unique vantage point inside our boilers, something that people don't usually see. So hope you really enjoy watching, and if you have any questions during the video, please feel free to comment in the section below or send us an email at education@swa.org. Also, in the section below, please let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to see that. And if you like what you're seeing, let us know that too. Turning it over to you now, Kyle. It's all yours.
All right, guys, Kyle here. Today we're going to talk about maintenance. So we're about halfway through an outage, which means we shut down the facility and we do all of the maintenance that we need to do that we can't do while we're online. So the scope of work is basically going to be a lot of cleaning, followed by inspections, then any maintenance that we had planned or found that needs to be done, and then various preventative maintenance tasks to keep the boilers online. So typically we have 3 boilers. Those boilers need to come off for approximately 2 weeks every 6 months to keep them reliable. And then our turbine comes offline for about 3 days every 2 years, and then every 7 years it comes off for about a month where we can do all the major work we need to do with it. So very reliable, very good inspection and maintenance plan, can keep these things online, generating electricity and also disposing of our waste. All right, guys, so we are in the middle of an outage. So here's one of our entry points for getting inside of our boiler. So if we look inside here, we can see a few things that we've talked about in the past. So out here, these are all water wall tubes. So each one of these is filled with water and generating steam based on a fire that would take place about 8 stories below here where my hand is. So down through the floor there, if you could look through the scaffolding, would be the fire. And that blue gas that we've talked about, right, generating all that heat, comes up through here, passes up in this direction, and eventually goes through those superheaters. These, suspended in air, are taking saturated steam and bringing it up to superheated conditions so that we can put that to our turbine to generate electricity, right? So some of the things we're looking for here, all these pipes, all these tubes are coated with a kind of metal called Inconel, which is very good for corrosion resistance. As you can see, there's a bunch of ash that's on here, so we do some explosive cleaning where we set some bombs off inside. The percussion knocks that ash off for the most part, and then any significant cleaning we still need to do to get a perfect look at that metal underneath, we'll use sandblasting and get a better look. So we build this scaffold in here, which allows us access to every part, all the way up and all the way down, 14 stories in total, and that allows us to go through and do inspections on all the equipment. All right, guys, so here is a entranceway at the lower portion of our boiler. So if we were to look up here where you can see that string of LED lights, that's our RAM. So above that is our hopper where the trash gets fed in. And then in front of me here, these are our grate systems, and these cycle kind of in this fashion. And that helps break up the trash. It helps move it down. You can see this is on an angle, so the trash comes towards us. As it tumbles down, we inject air underneath to give it the oxygen it needs for combustion. And then eventually ash falls down here into our ash system, right? So here's a good view of the lower portion of our boiler. So right here in front of me is where the fire would be. Typically, we would have a big 2,500 degree fireball generating heat all the way up through that scaffolding, 14 stories up, where we just looked at all the other pipes. All right, so here's another video in one of our other boilers from the same vantage point. So we can see here without some scaffold inside, get a little bit better view. We can see in front of us we have these grates. We can see a couple guys up there doing some welding on our RAM and our feed chute area. If we look up here, We can see all the way up. That's where all of those walls there are made out of Inconel coated tubes, generating steam. Those are our water wall tubes, and eventually 14 stories up are our superheaters. All right, guys, here's one of our manway doors that we can use when we're doing maintenance. Inside here, if we look to our right, on this side is our generating bank. So just like our water wall tubes, these have saturated steam in them and are generating steam for us to send to our superheaters, which if we look to the left-hand side here, this is our superheaters, where the flue gas is going through, taking saturated steam and bringing it up to superheated conditions so that we can send that to our turbine. And if we look inside here, we can see these are Inconel coated tubes on the right, and we have some stainless steel and some carbon steel tubes here on the left making up our superheaters. And if we look up, we can see roof tubes, and across the way there we can see some wall tubes, again, all filled with water, all heating surface for us to make more steam. All right, guys, here's a view inside of our economizer. So this is the first stage of our feed water, last stage of our flue gas. So this is an economizer with the purpose of economizing our efficiency. So we're taking the relatively cool feed water and we're going to heat it up with any leftover heat we have in the flue gas to preheat that water before it goes in the boiler to turn into steam. Just makes the whole process more efficient. And if we look here to our left, we can see a soot blower. Right? Maybe you see it better that way there. And we can see some nozzles in that. So what we do is, as you can see, there's some ash on these tubes, which acts as an insulator and hurts our efficiency in our heat transfer. So we use these soot blowers, which are like sprinkler systems, but instead of water, they use steam. And that steam will clean the ash off by blowing against it, kind of like air blowing leaves after cutting them down. So if we look here again, we've got a motorized system which spins our soot blower and pushes steam to it. And then inside here again, this is our economizer, which is just to increase our efficiency. All right, guys, so here's us wrapping up one of these unit's outages. So we are now in the process of pulling scaffold from inside this unit. So if we look closely here, we're in one of our manway doors to my right. These hanging, these are all of the superheaters, so that's where the saturated steam gets heated up to superheated conditions. And if we look here, all these walls, all of the walls are all made out of water wall tubes that have saturated steam in them. So they're taking the water and absorbing the heat and generating steam. And if we were to look down inside this unit, we can see some scaffolding. And just a few stories below that is typically where our grates would be and where the fire would be. And that flue gas then follows this whole path up through here, eventually pushing through the superheaters, and eventually making its way all through our boiler where we're pulling heat from it, the whole process, till it goes through our environmental equipment and eventually out the stack.
Thank you again for watching, and hope you really enjoyed seeing those incredible videos of our boilers during a shutdown. Be sure to check our Facebook or our website at swa/education for the rest of this week's educational programs. Hope you have a great day.